The UK High Street, the centre of retail for generations. But could that be about to change? Latest research shows that new stores are opening at their lowest rate in 7 years. And for high street business owners like Vin Vara, it comes as no surprise.
We have a lot of uncertainty with Brexit. We have a lot of increase in rates, in business rates, which went last year. Then the landlords and the fight with rent. And then the people cost. The labour cost in this country, and for us now, is getting above the normal margins that we were allowed or we always used to feel safe with.
Vara runs a chain of 12 stores in central London in the DIY hardware sector. And whilst his business remains healthy, he's had to take drastic action in order to compete.
We've closed 2 of our biggest stores and moved into a smaller store, which is smaller rent and less labour force. People are not sure, not confident enough. The lack of confidence is not there at the moment in retailing. And when we get the news of household names, Toys R Us, Maplin's, New Look, Prezos are all having those kind of little trouble, then when people like landlords and bigger landlords, they squeeze us smaller retailers, and it's really a problem.
Local data company compiled the research on the shop openings, and their retail expert Lucy Stainton admitted that whilst the figures for 2017 were clearly worse than previous years, it isn't all bad news.
The research focused on kind of the key 500 town centres across the UK, and we looked at multiple retailers and kind of the openings and closures of those. Now, over the course of 2017, it's fair to say that closures have increased slightly, and we're seeing fewer openings, so that kind of gap between the two has widened just slightly. What we're seeing is more of an evolution than kind of the death of the high street. So things like barbers and nail salons, vaping stores are all seeing significant growth. So there's definitely good news within that.
The challenge for UK high street retailers is nothing new. But while some shops and businesses continue to innovate, it's the decrease in footfall, people actually going into the stores, that's having a big impact.
Well, there's a long-term trend for a decline in footfall. A lot of part of that, as people will probably say, is the fact that it's the internet, and internet has taken some spend, and we're seeing that in our footfall figures at Springboard. Yes, there's been around a 17% decline in footfall over the last 6 years or so, but that mirrors the decline in spend going to the internet. But of course that means there's over 80% still in the cake for retailers to grab. So it's partly internet and also partly economic. We've been much more constrained around our economic purse. Our household budgets have been constrained due to the inflation, and wage rise is not keeping pace with inflation. So we're much more cautious as consumers over the last couple of years.
So is this decline terminal, or can we expect a high street resurgence? Lucy Stainton is convinced the high street is here to stay, but that it may look a little different.
At the moment, what we can't see is any sort of consistent trend, so it's difficult to understand what the next few years might look like. I think we're certainly going to see the high street continue to play a very important role as part of kind of UK society. People still want to be out shopping and kind of engaging with that space, but they may be more sort of experience-led businesses that occupy that space as opposed to kind of traditional comparison retailers.
You've got to be unique. You start specializing, start looking at different platforms. You know, the good thing about independence is they can react quicker than the larger stores. When we had the little bit of summer, the hot weather last week, how can we react to that? Get a fans in, get things selling and all that, move around. You just got to be very proactive. I mean, I'm putting in shifts of about 50, 60 hours a week at the moment, and at this age in 35 retailing, I should be doing 30, 35 hours a week. But just to be on the ball, to make sure that we are with it.
There's no doubt that it's a challenging time for UK high street retailers, but it seems like those businesses best equipped to move with the trends, work hard and adapt to the market will be those that thrive on a high street that looks here to stay. Oliver Regan for CCTV.